And a fond hello to everyone who stuck around with us here on KC Premium. As it's time to go racing, Briggs 206 Masters. Jackson Lambros, Brett Baldeck with you here from Newcastle Motorsports Park, round number 1 of the Apex Midwest Championship. It has been a soggy morning, my friend, and it has not been pleasant for these guys out on track. As it's looking right now, it could be a pretty good product here for on-track racing.
Yeah, we saw in qualifying, for those of you that were tuned in, they were getting dicey in that last qualifying session. So, and these are the Masters, so we'll see what they do here as our starting grid is now on the screen.
Clay Settles on pole position will be alongside Todd Davis, Brant Aristides, Jamie Bradford on row number 2. Paul Mickelry and Levi Wilbur on row 3. Buddy Daly and Kevin Simonellic in row 4. Alan Elwood and Route 66 vet AJ Roderick rounding out your top 10. Couple guys going out electing to not set times. That means J. Brian Williams and Christopher Ashcraft starting row 6. John Kennedy, Timothy Shutt further back in your final row to make up your field of 14. Couple things that separate this from your average championship, and that is a punch-off cone, or a punch-off zone, I should say. Very similar to what you would see in the NASCAR Cup Series. Again, not a single green flag that dictates it. Your leading driver has the option. Hit the gas coming out of this corner whenever. Just as it comes into view. Watch as it gets a little bit closer to the line. You see the 2 blue cones. That's your restart zone, which means the minute they're in the zone, we get the green flag, and for the first time, we go racing in the Apex Midwest Championship. Settle's going to lead them all down the hill and into I-70 for the first time. Davis trying to do the switchback there as we work over the hill and into the shark fin for the first time. Like a little bit of a shuffle further back there as Paul Mickelry in the 403 tries to make a couple of moves. The Masters showing why they are the Masters. We stay clean and green through scoreboard for the first time.
Yeah, things look pretty organized, single file as they go through. I guess I would call it the infield section of this Newcastle Motorsports Park. And I was interested to see, how hard these drivers were going to push it in these heats, given the conditions, given that you have to race tomorrow. You don't necessarily, I know there's plenty of parts and pieces, don't want to mess anything up as they go 3 wide. So there goes what I was saying about them going single file and going calm and easy, because now the battle is beginning, as looks like the 407 is slipping back. That is Todd Davis trying to find some room to get back in line there.
That is risky business this early on into the race, because with all that racing, as we've got one further back, I think that's Mickelry, just at the end of cell tower there by pit entry. That is risky running early on. What we saw with Settles, Bradford, and Estes, because you're risking Davis taking off and building a gap. But crucially here, Clay Settles up and away with a just under a half a second gap right now. You know what? Jamie Bradford, Levi Wilbur, Grant Estes doing a really good job right now of staying within the conversation early on. But has essentially become a 4-kart breakaway after that. Todd Davis, Ashcraft, Simonellic, Mickelry just starting to hit their way in. That was a big slide there for Todd Davis through the shark fin, able to keep it in one piece. But again, a lot of these guys very much white knuckling it here, because they know that even with the track drying, with so many guys running on, running right now and trying to dry that optimum racing line, you're driving on skates right now on slicks.
Yeah, and I will say that Jamie Bradford is keeping Clay Settles honest. I think he may be a little bit quicker. There's portions of the track, like right here, coming off the corner. It looks like he's able to exit off the corner a little bit better than Clay Settles. So we'll see if Bradford wants to challenge for that lead or not before this session is over. But all 4 of those drivers, as you mentioned it, the top 4, keeping our leader in sights here.
Through the 90s of 15, 16, and 17. Again, a reverse layout of what we normally run for CKNA Grands, what we're so used to in this package specifically. As we've already seen, it is made for a very interesting on-track racing package. Lap number 2, and Settle's able to keep these 3 at bay for the time being, as Settles leads Bradford and Wilbur. Brant Estes now quickest with a 1:38.801, as the pace is now trying to use that to potentially find a way past Wilbur. Out of the shark fin, normally a configuration we don't usually run, but shockingly the amount of banking there in turn 4 has really made things racy a little bit further back. And especially, I think, once we get to the 2-stroke races later on, that can make some very interesting wheel-to-wheel racing. We'll have to wait and see. It's still looking like a really good package, even in these conditions. Working our way through turn number 9 into the tight and technical cell tower section. Hairpin of turn number 11. And this is where it becomes a transformation into the Talladegas and a very tight, twisty section, where if you do have a good car for rotation, a good car for punching off corners, you're really able to show it in that part of the racetrack. But out of turn number 14 once again. Look at this, very good driving from Bradford. Is able to stay in conversation right now with Clay. But crucially, Brent not overdriving the car. We're not seeing too much over rotation in the corners. A little bit further back, another duo starting to unfold there with Levi Wilbur, Brant Estes.
Yeah, and you mentioned not overdriving the car. Today, you don't want to go off, even get one wheel off, because we mentioned earlier, it's mud, it's wet, it's been raining all morning. It may not end well for you if you get one tire off in this heat. But as you mentioned, it looks like that J.B. Bradford's been able to tighten it up here with Clay Settles. Not sure if he's going to be able to look at that. He's definitely catching up here, catching him in this infield section. I don't know if he's going to want to come out and make a pass or attempt. It's one thing to catch someone, another to try and attempt to pass, especially with these conditions. We'll see what happens with about a minute left in this session, but then I believe it's they have 2 laps after time expires. So we'll see how it all plays out as we get a check at our Levi Wilbur and Brant Estes here, third and fourth on the track right now.
2 masters that have been long-time sparring partners at the regional level here. And once again, they'll be forced to kind of cooperate with one another in third and fourth if they have any hopes of closing the gap to Settles and Bradford a little bit further back. So for Bradford right now, it's maybe a momentary break from that laser focus on the rear bumper of Settles, checking to see how much Wilbur and Estes are going at it further behind. If they are, then maybe you can take a look, like right here at the final corner. Tried going a little bit narrow on exit. And now the question for Bradford, does he think the gap is big enough? And does he have a good enough run to potentially make a move here into I-70 through the kink on the binders? No, driving very smart. Time's going to expire. We'll have the twin sticks coming out. But crucially here, Bradford being very tame on the bumper. Again, doesn't want to throw away a P2 result, first of all. But I think more crucially, he knows that he's got Wilbur and Estes right behind. He knows any expensive move that he doesn't make stick could immediately turn this into a 4-kart quarry for the lead once again. Out of turn number 8 here, working our way back up and over the crest and into Cell Tower. Haven't seen too many looks for overtakes here. We could see it in turn 11. Nettles with a really good run, though, coming out of turn number 9. And for Bradford, this will have to be evolved to a setup corner. The double left of 12 and 13. Oh, he is right on the bumper of that Coyote. Maybe he is able to make a move here. We'll have to wait and see. Out of turn number 14. And here we go. A little bit of a look. Backs out of it there into turn number 15. As he continues to maybe look for a way through. But Settles doing such a good job. Late lunge. And that's a done deal. Into turn number 17. Now the swing back. Settles gets back to the point. Goes a little bit deep, though, into turn number 18. Back onto the main straightaway. What a phenomenal start to this race. They'll keep going at it for one more lap.
I was about to say, I thought Settles let him go there, but then he did the switch over, went back into the lead, and I was thinking to myself during that time, you know, how hard do you battle to keep the lead, knowing one spin could take you right out of the contention straight to the back of the pack? But they're definitely going for this win here. We'll see if Bradford is able to make another charge here and try and make an attempt for a pass, but Settles has been able to, looks like, maybe gap about 2 kart lengths as they go through this infield section. But that was a heck of a corner there when we came coming to the start-finish line. As you can see, farther back for 3rd and 4th, they also have about a 2 kart length lead with each other. So things settling out for now after that amazing set of corners as we saw about a lap ago.
Of course, the minute you say that, big pinch on exit there for Wilbur, so we'll have to check in on that battle further back. That was a really good first sector from Settles, as he's actually able to fend off Bradford right now for the time being. We have not seen a gap this big all heat long, and Settles, just a lap ago, was potentially losing this position, but immediately got back to the point and lit the burners out of turn number 18. No cracking under pressure for Clay, but we'll need to try for one more lap here as Bradford continues to try and give Chase half a second to gap.
Yeah, that gap is staying consistent, I think, for the lead. Settles found something after that, or maybe he turned the wick up once that pass was attempted. You never know if he was saving something, but also, we've been talking about it all morning, the track has begun to dry out, so I think the times, maybe conditions are starting to improve the longer they've run in this 7-minute plus 2 lap session here, as we are coming around for the final time. Now is the time if you want to make your move and improve your position.
Out of turn number 8, good exit from Bradford as he's slowly trying to reel in that Coyote Motorsports machine. Up and over the hill into 10 and 11. Need to be precise on the brakes here. Bradford's got it, slowly but surely reeling him in. And this could be a potential overtake if he continues at this pace at the exact same spot he tried just a couple laps ago. Not quite as close as he was when the timer ran out, but has a really good run there in that 428. How hungry is it? There's still another heat race and 2 more, a pre-final and a final on Sunday. How badly does he want to be on the top step to get things started? A little bit of a nudge coming out of turn number 15 into 17 and 18. They're going to drag race to get us started. Out of the final corner, is it Settles? Barely 35 thousandths the difference to get things wrapped up in heat number 1. How about that?
What a finish. What a finish. We need a photo finish camera apparently next time we come here, because that was almost too close to call. Luckily we have timing and scoring to give us the official rundown, but what a great way to start off our heats here this morning.
Levi Wilbur winning that duel a little bit further back with Brant Estes, then Todd Davis, Simon Ellick, Mickelry, and that was Christopher Ashcraft spinning, who I believe was not able to get going again. 5 laps down. That'll be first of 2 heats done for the Masters. And looking at where Ashcraft might be, that might be a kart pickup. We'll have to wait and see. Regardless, we've got Briggs Micro on deck. They'll take to the track for heat number 1 when we come back from Indy.
Karting isn't just speed. It's control, precision, freedom. At Atlanta Motorsports Park, Kart Freedom isn't just a team. It's where drivers I'm 8.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
When it comes to innovation on the track, Odenthal Racing Products leads the pack. From the highly popular EasyGP camera mounts to our tough case to GoPro case, racers everywhere trust ORP for strength, reliability, and precision. We're proud to be the #1 engine mount manufacturer in the USA. And with our new Easy Bumper Retainer System, you won't get caught out with a failed bumper bolt again. Odenthal Racing Products. Lead or get left behind.
Heat number 1 ready to go here for 206 micro. James Fox with a flyer getting us started right now. TJ Akers going to be alongside of Remy Boss and Sam Robinson on row number 2. Clyde Kilman and Toby Blue on row number 3. Jack Sloan and Harrison Fitcher on row 4. Wyatt Brolsman and Jude Boss make up your top 10. After that, Rhett Blue rounds up your small but mighty field of 11. And the question on everyone's mind, does anyone have anything for that little blue cart out in front?
Yeah, James Fox was strong, almost in a league of his own in qualifying earlier this morning. I was getting warm up in qualifying, confused, but he wasn't running with anyone in qualifying and was able to put up a solid lap. But as we keep mentioning, I think the conditions compared to when they qualified this morning to now have changed drastically. As we get a look, as we speak about the conditions, we get a look, if you're watching at home, of the radar, and it looks like, I'm trying to tell people, we're a little bit northeast of Indianapolis, but that big green, red, orange blob is coming.
We're under Muncie.
Yes.
Is the best way to describe it. So maybe a little bit of a clear patch. We'll have to wait and see how that affects these guys, as it's Fox and Akers on the front row, as we got the green flag for 206 micro and Heat 1, and a good punch off there from James Fox into I-70 for the first time. Watch that GFC 254 TJ. Oh, makes a little bit of contact, I think, with Remy Boss as Remy goes through for P2. Clyde Kelman through for P3. But Fox, big chuck there into the shark fin for the first time, is up and away. One cart around further back, the 299. Rhett Blue spinning in the shark fin.
That almost could have been disaster. Great evasive action by those other drivers in the back, able to avoid crashing into Red Blue. It looks like no harm, no foul. He's going to be able to get back on track, and away he goes. But James Fox picking up where he left off and leading by a long distance already. As we take a look at our battle for 3rd and 4th, I believe that would be Remy Boss is in that battle, I believe. Yes, in the 293, and then Clyde Kelman.
Clyde Clement in that Parolin. And those two swapped positions in the start. So a good start there from Clement, able to get one spot forward. And immediately there, 254 of Akers, who did drop back significantly in the GFC. Trying to recharge and drive a little bit further to the front. Remy Boss now trying to do his own program a little bit further up. Good exit from Akers into the penultimate corner. Clement gonna try and cross him up on exit. Not enough crossover. He'll back up and get in line. James Fox first to the stripe. 3.2 seconds the gap right now over Boss, Akers, and Clement. We are already battling here for the bottom step of the podium. Trouble further back, and that is a rapid rejoin from an exit for Remy Boss. That'll promote Akers and Clement up to second and third.
Yeah, that rejoined another good driving, invasive action by those drivers there to avoid. As we take a look at that, was the 290 of Toby Blue that was farther back in the pack. Now, you have to wonder here, as we take a look at the 254, and that's TJ Akers and Remy Boss, do they work together? It doesn't look like they're close enough to try and catch the leader, because James Fox has checked out. We don't even see him in the screen because he has a healthy lead here early on in this session.
I think at this age, again, micro smaller than mini, these being the youngest kids we will see on track, and this is the first time a lot of these kids will, you know, be in a true wheel-to-wheel racing environment since Kid Kart. I think low on the priority is going bumper to bumper and learning to work together, and, you know, more importantly, adjusting to that extra power, extra torque, extra speed, and still trying to keep all four tires on the black stuff. And with this weather, with these conditions, this track grip, I think for a lot of these kids, very low on the priority list is going bumper to bumper with the kid in front of them to try and close a gap. And because of that right now, James Fox now 7.1. The gap from Akers.
Yeah, Fox clearly has this place figured out in these conditions. And I mentioned earlier, does he want it to stay wet or does he want it to dry out? We know tomorrow there's a high possibility that they will be racing in dry conditions. Only a 30% chance of rain tomorrow. Today it was an 80% chance. As we get a look back farther in the back of the field, that's Harrison Feitcher, excuse me. And they're pretty spaced out though across the field. So I think this is the best battle that we have on the as the 290 goes around. Toby Blue
again.
I think that's the second time that he's gone around in this race. Or maybe the second time
no, it was
today.
his brother Blatt in the 299. To the Blues Brothers. Doing some spins to get us started in heat number 1. Again, for a lot of these kids, in some cases, it might be the first time that they're on track in the wet. And that is a crucial part to learning how to drive. Even if it's not raining, just being in a low grip scenario on track. I know a lot of drivers were complaining at Tucson for round 1 of PKS with just how much sand was being blown onto the racing surface. In some cases, it felt like it was rain. But you look at what makes so many of the European guys the standard in this sport, and it is just the amount of wet running time that they have compared to us. And for a lot of these guys in the Midwest, that has arguably been their own kind of level of that advantage over the West Coast guys. But case in point, for a lot of people, it would feel maybe weird to openly choose to go out and practice in the rain, getting yourself ready for conditions just like this. 3-kart battle, 5th, 6th, and 7th. This is Sam Robinson, Harrison Feitcher, Wyatt Brolsman. That's a good exit there from the 205. Feitcher trying to go around the outside of turn number 6. He ends up in the grass after a little bit of contact, I think.
I was about to say, how hard do you push it when you're making these passes in the heat? And obviously, you saw him take the hand off the wheel in frustration, as he's going to drop well back into the pack. I believe that's at least 9th place that he's in right now. But you're mentioning, you know, the spin. As a young driver, or just a driver in general, it must be so hard when you're in conditions like this and you see a driver in front of you, maybe like a James Fox, as you see him kick across the line one more time. You see a James Fox going out there putting up these blistering laps, so you want to try and stay up with them, but then how hard do you push it knowing that under these conditions, you know, you want to push it hard, but then you can push it too hard, and as we saw already, get a spin. So just a lot of learning going on in this heat, definitely for these young kids.
It's an age that is all about learning. That's a top cart in the 212 for Fox as he slides that thing through scoreboard. And he has got that thing dialed in. The Fernando Alonso helmet. The blue and white machine looking very strong. Out in front, 13 seconds clear. And in an age group that is so crucial to developing, you know, those level 1 skills for how to drive a thing fast in any condition. James Fox has got it figured out right now in the 212.
The way that James is driving, you know, sliding around, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll have to do my research in our break, but does he have any dirt experience? Because if not, man, put him in a dirt cart as well, because he is just slinging that thing around these corners.
Here's the thing. We've seen him already through scoreboard. He's given it opposite luck. He doesn't look like he's frantically, like, he's okay with the back end stepping out just a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it's like smooth responses. It's not that quick, immediate jerk to snap it back in place. There is at least a rudimentary understanding of I'm sliding the go-kart right here. Great example through I-70. Just a little bit of side slide, and he's comfortable with it, right? So that is crucial. You look at where guys are, you know, early on in their career. Dare I say, that's dirt-esque in driving style.
It definitely is. At that lap alone, he was able to put 2 seconds on second place. So he has the track figured out. And as you mentioned, he's not sliding as in, you know, he's doing it and it's catching him off guard. He knows that he's sliding and he's not overreacting. He's really driving this car to perfection with these conditions.
Back the 293. Carolyn of Clyde Clement, who has been able to fend off from Remy Boss. That highlighter orange 288 further back. Again, started in P2. Lost a couple positions from the start, trying to crawl back to get on the bottom step of the podium. 3 different opportunities for these guys to grab points. We'll summon the take the sum of results after today, after heat racing, and that'll determine the starting order for the pre-final tomorrow. Get points after the heats, after the pre-final, and then of course the biggest chunk of points after the main event. Don't believe there's a drop round as Remy Boss goes for another bit of an excursion there coming out of turn 14. Keep it going, no problem. But case in point, you want to stay out in front, you got to keep that pace going all Saturday, all Sunday, because you are already racing for points at this point in the weekend.
Yeah, we saw when that cart went off track. Got to keep an eye on that today. Dragged a lot of dirt, mud, and grass back up on there. Sometimes that's a disadvantage of being the leader, is you're going to be the first driver to go through that, as I believe now James Fox is beginning to lap some of the field, some of the drivers that had issues, as you continue to see that cart that he just passed had some issues on the track there. But James Fox now has a 18-second lead over second place TJ Akers. Wow, that's all I can say.
Strong running from James Fox to get us started. And if this weather continues, I'm not sure if anyone's going to be able to beat him, at least at this point in the weekend. But again, I'm not sure if this is necessarily... Trophies are always nice, but this is always an age group that's going to be learning first, trophies second. James Fox, simply put, has got it figured out. Final corner here, and to the line. And James Fox, your winner for heat number 1. TJ Akers tried giving chase. Cleared Clement, but I think we'll have to settle for P2.
We'll wait about 20 seconds for the rest of the field to come around here and finish off this heat. But you could see there's no carts going, because that's how big of a lead he had. Amazing.
Ooh, Remy Boss able to close that gap. And they will drag race out of the final corner. Boss not able to get there. Clement seals the deal for P3. Remy Boss in 4th. Here comes Wyatt Burlsman and Jackson Sloan for 5th and 6th. There you go. Heat number 1 for Briggs Micro. Favorite drivers on the left. We'll catch our breath for just a moment here as the seniors get set to come out on track for heat number 1. Here we go, 206 senior taken to the track for heat number 1. Sam Tutwiler on pole position. Addison Ianello starting alongside him in the Coyote in P2. Chris McKeithen looking very strong. Comes off of a full national schedule and will start in P3 alongside your reigning champ Henry Wheeler. That's Mason Sturgeoner and Adam Kay in row number 3. Jack Sutton and Holton Harder in 7th and 8th. Alex Zakuliso and Levi Getz in row number 5.
So we'll see these guys warm up as we actually have I forgot how big this, excuse me, how big this field is, as we have another page of drivers on the grid here.
Brian Rea, Nagase Yoshikawa in row 6, Emily DeMaster and Nolan Holiday, 13th and 14th. Sawyer St. Clair and Clay O'Brien, 15th and 16th. Nick Kiefer is 17th. Will Wilkie is 18th. In Lorenko in P19. Jack Sakina in 20th. We'll try and rush through these. Brady Eichhoff and Ryan Curl in row 13. As we rush to the back here, Colton Kelly, Jerry Fandry, Carter Kilgo, Scott Kellman, Cam Burris, Mark Steele, Owen Mal, Randall Potter, and Bartosz Bazinski round out your field of 39. They are pedaling to get to the field in time here before the commit cone. They will line up 2 by 2, and you can see how much these guys are weaving further back to try and get heat into these MG tires. But man, sold out show to get us started here in round number 1. And even after that flyer of a qualifying session from Tutwiler, you still get the feeling that it could be anyone's game further back. These conditions aren't helping. Oh my goodness, what is going on further back here? Stack up with at least 4 carts. They'll clear out, but we are ready to go racing. Ianello and Tutwiler on the front row. Wheeler and McKeithen ready to strike further back. Let's get things started. Let's go racing in 206 Senior. Good start to the inside. Tutwiler will be dead even with Ionello.
Oh!
And one further around, I think one of the Sodis further back, that might be Yoshikawa. And crucially, no one collected there through I-70 for the first time.
I was gonna say, watch those first few corners. I thought that was gonna be a bigger mess than we saw, but wow, look at them weaving through here. Hold your breath as they're going through here. 2 and 3 wide in these conditions. Unbelievable, great job by all these drivers. Able to keep it on track so far. As you can see, they are single file now in the lead as it's still a hornet's nest mid-pack on back.
And the Thunder rolls over and out of turn 9 and towards Cell Tower for the first time. Stealth machine of Sam Tutwiler in the 990 leading us there, but look at this stack up further back as a couple guys got regrouped and have to charge forward. One of them being the Coyote further back, the 918 or 981, Adam K. Dropped a handful. Henry Wheeler in P3 trying to fight forward as well. Now a move for P4 coming into turn 15, backs out of it. Chris McKeithen in the 919. As we now finally start to go single file. Fight is on for the lead, all about generating good runs here out of the final corner. As it's Addison Ionello, Henry Wheeler, and Chris McKeithen trying to close that gap to Sam Tutwiler.
Definitely a different heat than we saw with the micros before, the minis before, because they are stacked up on each other here in this heat number 1 for the senior class. But it looks like Sam in the 990 able to get a little bit of a lead there, but I mean, look at the pack behind him. As soon as I did that, he went a little wide there in that corner. Looks like we may have a battle soon for the lead as they go 3 wide.
Oh!
Back to back.
Looks like maybe a 2-for-1 there for Harder in P10 as he potentially got himself up into P8. Look at this teamwork further back. Wheeler and McKeithen went bumper to bumper. Now it's Wheeler looking to the inside, trying to make that move on Ionello. Addison holding the line. Actually did a little bit of a shoulder check there to get McKeithen offline or get Wheeler offline. That'll send him back. And now the move for the lead potentially. They're going through turn number 11, not able to get there. But man, everybody wants to lead. Nobody seemingly has been able to get by Sam Tutwiler for the time being. Big wiggle on exit there for Wheeler. He'll check up big time. McKeithen, Surgeoner, and almost a Caliso going through as we come through turn 15 and turn 16. This group is stacked up nearly to P7, P8. It is anyone's game here with 4 minutes on the clock.
I was about to say, they are just covered up 1st through 8th here. You make a mistake if you're in the top 3, you're going to go straight almost outside the top 10. As you can see, it looks like, I was going to see if they're going to work together, but we see a pass there for 2nd position. It looks like that would be the 919 of Christopher McKeithen trying to get to the 2nd position. But now the lead, Sam Tutwiler able to extend the lead a little bit as they're battling now for 2nd through about, I would say, 8th here. But like I said, they are covered up.
I was almost going to talk about how expensive of a move that could potentially be from McKeithen making that move on Ionello. These guys have done such a good job of closing that gap a little bit deep. Almost seems like McKeithen drove Ionello and company. Now Wheeler trying to make a couple moves further back. I think just made that move on Surgeoner a little bit further back. Got that black stealth cart up to P4. He did. Now we'll go shallow through turn 11, trying to make that move on Ionello. This nearly trying to box Ionello back. Wheeler nearly into the grass. Continue to try switching back and parrying those moves of Ionello through turn 14. You got Surgeoner just behind there. Chrome in red. 945. Very sharp exit there for Wheeler. He's got to back out of it. These guys continue to battle, and all of a sudden that allows Adam K, Levi Getz, Sawyer St. Clair to stack up to the rear of this and make it nearly a 10-cart freight train. 909 in the grass. As they continue to battle here, this could be it. Move for the lead could be brewing into I-70. Not yet, but it's a 3-cart breakaway. Tutwiler, McKeithen, and Ionello.
See some hands up in the air back there, as this is the, I would call it the Hornet's Nest. I believe this is probably about 5th through 10th, all battling through it. Hold your breath as they go through this infield section, but man, they've kept it clean so far. Don't want to jinx it. I've already seen the announcer's jinx come into play today. But great driving so far by all these drivers as they go through this infield section.
Jack Sutton up into P5 there in that blue machine with the black suit. Drop Surgeoner back a couple spots as well. Everybody going up into the grass there out of turn number 9. Now we'll look further back. Salusco looking to the inside. Is just able to get that move done. Surgeoner up into P5. Sutton had to back out to allow him to go through, but didn't want to fight it any further. And these guys have lost any sense of teamwork right now. They don't think they're going to get to the front. They just want to potentially battle for the scraps that are left. As I say that, not really too far back from the front. CS55 machine further back. I think that's the Coolsco. No, maybe Surgeoner. As, ooh, contact 3 wide coming out of turn number 17. Who is the winner? They're still 3 wide. Are we going to end out of this in one piece? Somehow we are. And when you get 39 karts on track at the same time, this is kind of what we were expecting. But I don't think we were necessarily expecting it to be this chaotic, this quick. It is absolute carnage further back with Adam K, Sawyer, St. Clair, Levi Getz, all going at it further back.
I mean, time is running out. We'll have 2 laps to go. I mean, with everyone packed up like this, if you want to make a move, now is the time to go. You can see them nose to tail here. Wild racing, though, especially given the conditions. But like I said, you got to take all you can get as time is running out. And looking at our track map, there's clearly 2 distinct packs. You have the front group, and then I think that would be about 1st through 14th. And then there's a second group, which is 14th on back through the rest of the field. But they are battling like it's the last lap, but we still have 2 to go here at Newcastle Motorsports Park.
Stealth Kart, pair of Coyotes, then the Steel Machine of Chris Wheeler. Further back, you still have Mason Surgeoner further back in the 945 trying to join the fray as well. Twin Sticks coming out this time by. You can see the group right now that are still trying to get into the mix just a little bit further back. It gets harder. Eichhoff to Master O'Brien. This is all the way back to P15 or so, as that's a really good exit there. A trying to go around the outside and turn 17. That's a done deal. And these guys keep finding ways to make moves a little bit further back. I think Emily DeMaster in the 297 making that move on harder. Around the outside there, as McKeithen tries to fend off from Iannello. Does make that move, and it looks like Wheeler's going to go with him for P3. Look at that Euro lean on the 919. Chris McKeithen trying to find any grip where he can. Wheeler giving him a little bit of bumper right now. That might have been to maybe move him out of the way just a little bit. Not able to do so, though, through turn 6. We work our way through the second shark fin and into turn 9. Wheeler still looking for a way through in that runner-up spot. This has essentially ended the race for the lead right now. Tutwiler a second and change clear of the pack. So McKeithen, Iannello, Wheeler, and Surgeoner in this battle for the best of the rest. Big set of the inside. Poor Wheeler has nothing on exit now. Gives Iannello and Surgeon a shot to swing back. Iannello gets back up into P3. We are consistently shuffling here further back.
Yeah, Tutwiler loves to see this. He's able, as you mentioned, to get that lead. He's able to find something. Easily should get this win. We'll see what happens with the 2nd through 5th here, because they are battling as the battle now continues, as they look like they get it sorted out. But here's how we've seen some passes come all day, but it looks like they're going to keep it single file as we get 1 lap to go.
McKeithen a little bit wide on exit. What's that give for Iannello and Wheeler further back? As we've got the white flag. The 2 Coyote teammates have had no intention of working together. You're seeing it again right here. A little bit of an attempt on exit of I-70 for Iannello. They'll lock horns in the run of the shark fin. Wheeler trying to find a way through as well. No move just yet. Now sends it low through the shark fin. Is he able to make that stick side by side with Iannello on the exit? Nearly in the grass. Iannello trying to go middle to force him as wide as possible. Now it's Surgeon on exit, coming up and over the hill, and somehow will continue to stay in this order. It has been phenomenal defense from both of these Coyotes. You've got two of the best four-stroke drivers in the business. Henry Wheeler, Mason Surgeoner. Further back, they have not been able to break this wall of Coyotes. Wheeler still trying, but just is not able to find any momentum on exit there for turn 11. Iannello doing such a good job of finding momentum when power is a premium, when grip is a premium, and crucially is being a rear gunner involuntarily right now for Christopher McKeithen. You can hear it on our cameras. This guy's starting to open up just a little bit more. And for Sam Tutwiler, it has been drama-free in heat number 1 out of turn number 18. We'll go flag to take victory in heat number 1. And it will be a Coyote 2-3, McKeithen, Iannello, Wheeler, and Surgeoner rounding out your top 5. Man, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a blast. But taking a look at our top 10 there, Sawyer St. Clair in 8th. He was up 7 positions. Brady Eichhoff, just outside the top 10, 11th, was up 10 positions. And then we'll see it deeper in the field. It looks like our 17th place, Mark Steele, he was up 19. So some drivers are able to take advantage of some of the early trouble that we saw in this event with, before we even got the green, some drivers weren't even able to take the green. So what a wild race here in these conditions.
Tip the cap as well to Jerry Fandry, up 14 positions there, starting outside of the top 20. And the TV Kart ending his first heat in P18. Step aside for just a moment to pay the bills. 206 action continues when we return from Newcastle.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney. Turney in the dirt.
Welcome back here as we get our Briggs Mini Heat number 1 underway here from Newcastle Motorsports Park. You can see our starting grid on your screen right now. Evan Leish and Hayden Lawson, Chase Paul, Bo Laser, Caden Taruno, and the rest of our starting field. You can see them trying to get in position before we get this green flag. Also, of note, it is raining again heavily here, so that is going to throw another wrench into these young drivers as they get doubled up, and they'll get the start here soon. But Jackson, not what we want to see, or maybe as a fan what you want to see, but as a driver, if you like the rain, maybe it's a good, but it is pouring once again here at the racetrack.
Again, we talk about what makes this category of karting so unique, and it's the wheel-to-wheel aspect. You know, you get shades of Talladega using the bumper, we're running in packs, and with the low visibility, the lower grip, it makes that aspect of this so much more difficult, and what is such a trained talent for some of the diehard grassroots racers. They got to kind of hit the reset button and go back to the bare fundamentals of how to be fast in a race car, period, right? And in these conditions, it is less about running solo and more about finding pace where you can. Skies have opened up. It's an MPG and a Lawson on the front row. Can anyone bring anything to Leish and Lawson? Let's find out. Let's go racing in Briggs Mini. Good momentum from the
Look
front
at these
row
first
there.
couple corners. We're
Try to
gonna
push
go
that
through
MPG to the front row. Oh, big slide, one around further back. Chase Call.
I was about to say, look at the first couple corners as they go through their first time in these pouring conditions, and Chase Call was the one that got the bad end of that.
Tried pushing Leish to get through, and unfortunately that MPG was the winner, as it looks like 115 able to patch it up and get back going again. That MPG up and away, and we saw it earlier on in 206 Senior. If you want to make a move on the leader, you got to apply pressure very quickly, because these guys can take off in these conditions very quickly.
Yeah, this is the wettest we've seen, I think, since the warm-ups this morning, but you can see the 107 is he's been able to get out to the lead again. Maybe one of those drivers that enjoys these rainy conditions. But Lawson, Hayden Lawson in second, it looks like he's keeping him honest here. Maybe about 4 or 5 kart length lead, but obviously that can tighten up real quick in these styles of karts.
Evan Leish doing a handful of different platforms right now, obviously doing some micro Swift stuff as well as ran in USPKS, but crucially plenty of club weekends here. The Hoosier native already, I think, 4 race weekends under his belt here, driving for MPG, Chase Jones's program. Lawson Speed Shop kid Hayden has indeed gotten up to full song. He is right in his tracks right now, and the battle is definitely on now for the lead.
Yeah, and I keep cringing every time they go through the corners because I'm like, it looks like they're carrying too much speed. But man, they have it under control. But here comes Hayden Lawson. Ooh. Oh, a bump, it looks like, coming into the corner there.
I'm not sure if Lawson was maybe expecting Leish to go a little bit deeper on the brakes there, or if Lawson just missed the marks on the brakes. That was bumper-to-bumper contact into scoreboard. And I'm not sure if Evan's going to necessarily appreciate that. The battle is on. These conditions, how confident is Hayden Lawson? Do you maybe even try going bumper to bumper here to build this 1.7 second gap over Bo Laser, over Ryan Haller? Do you just go at it and try and overtake for the lead? You've got 4 minutes on the clock. If you're Lawson, you've got plenty of time, but you definitely don't want to get Leish, who looked so strong in qualifying. The last thing you want to do is give that Kart Republic in front of you an opportunity to take off again.
Yeah, you saw Leish look behind him to see how much of a gap he had through that infield section. He's been able to extend his lead slightly once again, but with these conditions, I mean, things can tighten up so quickly. As you can take a look at our battle behind our first and second place driver, I think this is for third through about seventh, and I cringe, or I tighten up every time I see them make a pass there, because I don't know how they're able to keep these carts under them with these conditions that we're currently seeing.
Ryan Hall up 6 positions there in the 109. That's a comp cart, as he's cleared Greer, Laser, and Caden Taruno. But looking at some of our big movers so far, absolutely. Ryan Hall up 6 positions. You've got also Anderson Hemphill further back, P7. A lot of guys making the most out of some early spinners. Looks like a good recovery as well for Elias Eunice. Caitlin Daly. Chase Call has improved back up to P15 after the drum at the start for him. These guys continue to go at it in this duel for the best of the rest. You can see just how much more reflective it is there at scoreboard, how much these rooster tails are growing. I'm not sure how many of these kids are on the wet compounds, but those rooster tails keep getting bigger and bigger every single lap.
Yeah, they're for sure learning a lot if they've never raced or very rarely raced in rain before. As we mentioned, there's a chance of rain all day today, 80% chance, scattered showers throughout the area. As you can see, here we have a pass. This is Ryan Hall in third. Looks like he may get passed by Bo Laser in the 181. Or at least he attempted briefly there, but he's right on his bumper.
Thought smarter of it, got back
There
in
he
the
goes,
tracks,
Bo
now goes
Laser,
slow into
able to make that
I-70.
pass.
Not sure if maybe there was a little bit of contact there to knock him wide. I don't think so. Still a good move there from Bo. In the 181 will now lead that 4-pack. Again, Ruben Greer, Caden Torino, Anderson Hempel, I think, further back in that Sodi in the 124. Now a look of a swing back from Ruben Greer, not able to get there, actually overdrives it. Excuse me, that's Ryan Hall. As Ruben Greer tried making that move. Through turn number 8, can't get there just yet. This is giving a good opportunity for Bo Laser. You can see that gap now starting to build as this has evolved from a quartet to a 3-cart battle further back.
Yes, as soon as they start battling, I mean, all those other carts, especially in these conditions, Bo Laser was able to extend his lead on that pack, but I believe this is, let's see what this would be. Is this our battle
for the lead right here?
I can't. Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't want to call that wrong, but you can see how the gap has grown from our first and second to back to Bo Laser in third, and then the rest of the field from fourth on back.
Like Joseph Panico there in the blue 100, pedaling to this group as well, just trying to get within draft range. 142, Caden Taruno. Very rarely do we see 4-cycle Sodis. It's a treat to see them. It's kind of like seeing a 2-cycle Tillotson, but very cool to see. Caden Taruno feeling mighty fine behind the wheel of the 142 further back. Tried making a move there on Ryan Hall, not able to do so just yet. As again, staying on the rear bumper is one thing, but a lot of these kids are already scared just being on the racing line. They're white knuckling to try and hold on. Ooh, trouble for one of the new gens, 103. Elias Eunice going around.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen more issues. That's really the only other one we saw. We saw the one at the start when Chase Call, and then that one right there. So these kids able to keep it on track in these conditions. As you can see, they've pretty much strung out now, as we are going to get the 2 laps to go as they come around, when they come around, I should say, to the start-finish line.
Hemphill, big slide there out of turn number 11. Again, trying to close that gap to Taruno and Hall. And just not able to close it just yet. Check back in here. Bo Laser, Ruben Greer, Ryan Hall. Again, pretty much all 5 of these guys equidistant from one another. Again, a big reason just seeing so much anxiety from these kids. First time some of these kids have ever driven in these conditions. It's more than stressful enough just to be on the racing line, but to go off into the full puddles to try and make a move on track, that is a whole nother dimension of driving that a lot of these kids have not necessarily experimented with. So running in the tracks, more than enough for plenty of these kids. We've got a new leader, Hayden Lawson, able to make that move on Evan Leish. I'm not sure if that was on track move or maybe a mistake from Leish, but looking at the gap between the two of them now, 0.72.
Grown.
Might have been a mistake from the MPG we missed.
Yeah, so put Hayden Lawson up into the lead as we are on 2 to go as he comes around through he's about halfway through the track, so when he comes around again, he's obviously going to get the white flag. But you're mentioning these conditions. I mean, not only is it raining for these drivers, it's windy, it's cold. I mean, you have to stay laser focused. Think about how hard it is for a kid to stay laser focused in a kart when, you know, it's not comfortable to be out there right now. It's just, it's wet, it's cold, it's windy. So hats off to the drivers. Like I mentioned, we've only seen 2 incidents in this race so far. So great driving by them. Again, learning a ton with these conditions here in central Indiana. Oh, as I believe that's our second place, Evan Leish going off.
It is. Able to recover and hold on to P2 for the time being. Had a really good conversation with Dean Helt at K1 eWorlds about just how difficult it is, especially with a tailwind. We'll pick that point up as this battle continues further back. Good run for Taruno and Hull, trying to make that move as Hull just trying to bend these guys off in the comp car. I think Bruno able to make that move. Hull drops a little bit further back. Here comes Hemphill in the 124 now on that battle. But I think crucially, that might have been Ruben Greer in the 120 losing a couple spots. It is.
Sorry, I said because that move the 144 just made, wow, he sent it in there, and he made it stick.
Not sure if they've got a transponder working. That's being hand scored further back, but that was one of our spinners earlier on. But again, these guys get really, really good learning experience on track here. Running within striking distance, running in some of the most damp conditions we've seen here at Indy, at Newcastle. And that is saying something. We've had some very, very damp races here. These kids taking it in strides. No one more than Hayden Lawson right now out in front, able to capitalize on the mistakes of Evan Leish, of Bo Laser, of Ruben Greer. Lawson speed shot machine will come to the line, take victory in heat number 1. Evan Leish will have to try again in just about an hour and a half and go back at it. Bo Laser is able to win that duel against Fair Ryan Hall and Caden Taruno in 5th and 6th. Anderson Hemphill, Theo Stephens, Robin Noe, and Logan Pollock rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, it looks like Evan Leish maybe just lost the handling or was not able to keep up with the racetrack with the changing conditions towards the end there, because we saw, looks like a couple mistakes that he made that made him fall back to 2nd place. But he can gather it back up, and he has got another heat coming up later on today.
We'll have to wait and see, as that could be a last all weekend long. Step aside for just a moment. When we return, last of the round ones, Briggs Jr. coming up. 2:06 action raging on here from Newcastle. Heat number 1 for the juniors, and Ryder Thompson on pole. Rylan Gordon on the outside to make up row number 1. Joseph Yvette and William Richard just behind. Daniel Dragunov, Caleb Mares in row number 3. Tegan Schneider and Evan Frey, your reigning champion, on row 4. Jacob Scheibel and Laney Tigpin round out your top 10. A little bit further back, Chris Yautsy, Carson Benjamin in 11th and 12th. Row 7, Gavin Tyre, Tyler Nash Turner. Row 8, Jonathan Bore and Gio Blackberry. Then it's Isaiah Maxey and Ezekiel Height. Row number 10, Cooper Mole and Henry Maxwell. 30 and change. Karts ready to get us started here as the rain looking to die down just a little bit more.
Same thing.
Get
as
ready
I
to
said,
go, Brett. What's the expectation here?
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say, I'm expecting, we've seen the first couple corners with these last heats, especially with the rain still falling. Luckily, it's only been a couple drivers getting issues, but when I see all these karts on track, I'm always puckering up when I see them going to turn 1 and 2, because one mistake, it could take out a large number of the pack. But basically what I'm trying to say is look out in the first couple corners in every race, even when it's dry, but when it's wet, especially so. So we'll see. They're all doubled up this time, so I don't think we'll have any issues pre-green flag like we did in some of our previous sessions. But wow, look at the number of karts we have here. This is going to be intense.
33. And again, it is the leader's responsibility to punch off in between those 2 blue cones on track. No waved off starts, no secondary formation laps. Once the leader goes between those 2 cones, we are green flag racing. And if anyone pops out of line or makes a move before then, that's a penalty immediately coming their ways. But been really, really effective so far. We've seen it in the Southeast, especially because so many of the younger kids especially just really, really want to get going as soon as they get onto the main straightaway before the green flag drops. Been a really, really good way of keeping them in check, and again, just keeps things going. Regional racing keeps things ready racing. But here we go. Ellen Kart and a Stealth on the front row. 33 juniors ready to bring us to the green. Let's do it. Let's go racing in 2:06 junior.
Are they all going to make it through turn 1? And it looks like, oh no, I just called it too soon. We see one driver with an issue at the back of the pack, but our leader is able to, or they're still sorting it out here.
Big breakaway there from Thompson as Gordon and Richard try to close the gap. We're 3, nearly 4 wide coming into scoreboard for the first time as
no.
Big slide. 1 kart broadside, 2 karts broadside coming out of scoreboard. Again, the beauty of 4-cycle. Engines don't flood. You're just able to jump on the axle and get it going as soon as possible. Ryder Thompson up and away already. 4 kart length advantage over Gordon. William Richard trying to make that move early on for P2.
Good heads-up driving by everyone. I mean, we saw a couple spins, but no major disaster like I was hoping we would not see. But with 33 karts on track, it's so hard to stay out of other people's mess. But you can see Ryder Thompson, I mean, he is loving, apparently, these track conditions, because look at the lead he's already been able to place. We're not even 1 lap in.
And again, when you're constantly going 2 wide, 3 wide, you're being forced into parts of the racetrack where there is plenty of standing water. And I think that caught a handful of people by surprise, especially down low there with scoreboard. So that's how we saw those kind of big, lazy swap ends in turn number 5. 1 second the gap right now. Thompson over Rylan Gordon and William Richard just further back. Daniel Dragunov up a position. See Chris Yautsy as well. Up 5 spots, went from P11 to P6 in the whole shot. And again, disadvantage, very much the loss of a handful of drivers. Oh man, big slide there. I think that was Yautsy in the Stealth. It might have been
That was
As
a
that, I believe,
heck of a
is
move
Scheibel
there. I've seen
now
a couple
giving him
drivers
the
do that in
bumper.
that corner.
Big slide there, and the two stealths gonna try and work together. Get to the 809 now of Tegan Schneider with Joseph Yvette just behind. Two stealth Burrells trying to work together. Outsy up 5 positions. Scheibel up 2 from the whole shot. Outsy Hoosier native. Consistent runner at N1 circuit in Winchester. Not sure if that bumper is just low. I'm not sure, Brett. I'm looking at the back. That 899, I feel like he might be dragging a bumper. That is looking low. Right behind that green helmet.
Yeah, the officials will definitely have a close look at that when they get off the racetrack, but it looks like things have settled out for now. Everyone's kind of staying single file and using their manners, I guess you could call it, as
oh yeah,
we
that's
see
off the
another
bracket.
lap click down.
That'll be a meatball flag going the way of Chris Yautsy. And bad luck, unfortunately, following him after an unfortunate weekend at K1 Circuit in Winchester for the E-Worlds. Or state champ for Indiana, indoor champ. Not able to stand on the podium. I believe was mechanical issues or got swamped. Unfortunately, just was not able to talk to him and figure out. Yautzy's still pointing forward here, trying to work together. These 3 or 4 carts behind are like, dude, you're dragging a bumper. But we'll see if they continue to maybe give him a shove further back.
I don't know.
Looks
Obviously,
like
I don't
Barnett
think
down
he
2 positions there.
He may not know. I'm assuming he doesn't know that he's dragging a bumper, so
No.
he obviously is telling them to stay in the line, but he's not seeing what the drivers behind him are seeing. As you can see, another pass here. Ooh, that was a little close there. Almost made contact. It's so hard to make a pass in these conditions. You can easily slide up into the other driver, but good heads-up driving there. Both those guys were able to make it through there clean.
Looking at our biggest mover so far, Yutzi still up 5. A couple of other drivers, Ezekiel Hott up 2.
Jet Price
And
up
when you've got a
10 and
handful of
13.
spinners in Carnage. Yep, you got, but that's kind of the unfortunate beauty of that Carnage early on. You got a handful of guys who are able to make an advantage of that. What has happened to Tegan Schneider? As it's now Ryder Thompson, your winner, or excuse me, your leader. Something has happened further up in the field that we have missed because Tegan Schneider has dropped like a stone. William Richard and Chris Yutzi has been promoted to 2nd and 3rd respectively.
Yeah, you have to assume, I mean, given the conditions, maybe he had an off in the grass and then had to get back on the course. But yeah, but yeah, he definitely dropped. Now, as you mentioned, down to 7th. So we'll try and find him on track and see. Oh, we see a driver was off right there as well, as I mentioned. That is the 828.
Corey Daniels.
Looks like things have settled out for now. As every time I say that, they begin racing again.
Yeah.
But everyone in single file. Looks like everyone's got a nice little gap in between them.
Lots of carnage here, but it seems that we've finally seen it die down. And it looks like Tegan Schneider, yes, has dropped down to P7. Same for, looks like Rylan Gordon, who lost 2 positions, again rolled off P2. Now sits in P5. Eerily similar to what we saw from the big kids in senior. 2-second breakaway from Ryder Thompson. It is a
Our
big
driver
freight
in
train
third
further
place.
back right now.
The 833 of Christopher Yutzi up 8 positions onto the podium. So what a drive! Maybe taking advantage of some of those carts that maybe went off track or having issues with the rain. But +8, good job to get on the podium in 3rd place.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we'll be seeing a meatball flag from him shortly as Evan Frey
Oh yes,
sends it to the inside there to make that move on Joseph Vayette, who was trying to go forward with his teammate Yutzi. It's just gotten swamped. Further back, another move, a
Oh.
big slide further back as Frey goes off. Loses a handful of positions in the process. And this battle continues to rage on. 852, I believe Cooper Mole there in the Burrell. Battle for just the bubble here of the top 10. Ezekiel Hott, Cooper Mole, Evan Frey going at it.
Yeah, these drivers are trying to get all they can get, as we are going to get with the 2 laps to go. The time has expired in this session. Bumper to bumper there. You can see that's the 884 of Ezekiel Height. Looks like he's going to be able to make the pass, or attempt to make that pass there. We'll see where they score as they come across the line next time by.
See that point forward from Viat, not happy with the moves of the driver behind, as again still knows that there's at least 2 laps on the clock, and was hoping to maybe move forward to get to this pass. Gordon and Jacob Scheibel in the battle for pretty much second back to P6 here. If these guys together for much longer, but you could just see for a moment there that gap from these 5. P1 and Thompson now 4 seconds separating them. Not quite running bumper to bumper, but man, these guys in dry conditions, this would be, you know, a catch up in a heartbeat kind of scenario. You look at these guys, I mean, they can't even make a move on track right now because everyone is just fighting for grip.
Yeah, you see how much moisture the Rooster tails, especially when they're going down the front straightaway in that first corner. There's so much moisture on this track right now. There it is, and you can see it when they go off the corners, go offline a little bit. Just, it's raining, it's cold, it's wet. We've been talking about it. Just treacherous conditions, but it looks like everyone's staying in line for now. You have to wonder if they're going to save their stuff, try to see what they have for this final lap coming up in just a few seconds.
William Richard in the 887 Coyote in the hot seat right now. Stealth of Chris Yutzi trying to make that move for P3. Thought about it going shallow through the 90s. Now does the switchback. Richard nearly into the grass there, as this could be the opening Yutzi's been working for. Full overlap into the final corner. Is Yutzi able to get there? There's so much water on the inside. Richard gets pushed wide. Loses 5 positions or so in the process. Thought he had the hand up to say there was a failure, but no, that is just straight frustration from the Coyote pilot. Obviously, the real estate was there. Yutzi made the move, but there was just no grip and so much water on track. Yutzi slid through, went side pod to side pod. Richard just went fully off track, but look at this. Ryder Thompson, 5 seconds up from the field right now. And early on, we've seen a handful of uncontested drives. You're looking at another one right here.
Yeah, Ryder Thompson has no idea of all the action that he is missing behind him. But I mentioned it earlier, so hard to make passes in these conditions, because if you're on the bottom line, but if there's a puddle there, you can slide up into the other driver, and that's what we saw coming off that final corner there.
I think in 206 racing, though, there's just always the assumption that there is some kind of chaos going on further back, and if you're breaking away, you're just happy that you are not a part of it. Jacob Scheibel trying to make some chaos of his own right now, trying to make that move on Rylan Gordon. Again, has been able to charge forward a little bit now with the disappointment of Yutzi and him getting pushed off there. Or excuse me, with the push off of William Richard. Again, still should be potentially a technical DQ coming the way of Yutzi. Checkered flag is out. Ryder Thompson going to take victory easily in heat number 1. Chris Yutzi provisionally P2. No, Dragunov able to snatch that back. We'll see where they stack up here with a potential technical penalty coming the way of Chris. As it stands, Yutzi P3, Gordon P4, Jacob Scheibel 5th, William Richard not able to recover from P6. Deacon Schneider, same story for him from P7. Ezekiel Hott, Cooper Mole, Joseph Fayette rounding out your top 10. Go back to the top of the order. We get back to it for round number 2 of heats with Briggs Masters coming up.
Welcome to the future of kart race preparation, Kart Sim Pro North America. Featuring laser-scanned North American kart circuits and precision-tuned kart physics developed using real telemetry, dyno and tyre data, Kart Sim Pro North America delivers the most advanced and realistic kart simulation experience available today. Whether you're training for race day, refining your lines, or shaving tenths off your personal best, Kart Sim Pro gives you pro-level insight without leaving your home. Trusted by world champions, coaches, and karting enthusiasts alike, this is where virtual practice translates into real-world performance. Experience the thrill, the challenge, and the edge. Kart Sim Pro North America. Use code CHASER20 to get 20% off today.
Top of the order, and we're ready to get back to it with 206 Masters, heat number 2. Clay Settles and Todd Davis on the front row. Brian Estes and Jamie Bradford in row 2. Paul Mickelry, Levi Wilbur in row number 3. Buddy Daly, Kevin Simonovic, and Alan Elwood, I think, is all that is actually here on track. We'll cycle through and still show you who's on the entry list. We only saw, I believe, 8 karts on track for heat number 1. Again, should be expecting Brian Williams, Chris Ashcraft, Sean Kennedy, and Tim Schutt. Hopefully at some point, either today, if not tomorrow. I know we have a handful of guys coming out only to do the pre-final, final on Sunday in the smaller classes. But of course, Brett, I think the weather could also be a factor in keeping some guys in the tent.
Yeah, I was about to mention, the weather. So the Masters were out for their first heat, I'd say about an hour ago, and it was drying out. Now they're back out there, and the conditions have completely changed. So another curveball that Mother Nature has thrown at these master drivers. And we'll see. I'm sure they're masters, so I'm sure they're able to handle it. But again, like I've been saying all day or all morning, watch those first couple corners, especially in these conditions.
Just when we thought
you see
potentially...
I'm sorry, I just want to mention, you see the debris on the track there just from drivers going off all morning. That's another thing they have to contend with, is just the dirt and debris, the marbles, everything. If you get offline, that can happen with these conditions.
Absolutely. Been hairy out there so far to get things started. But just when we thought things were going to clear up, Mother Nature, as per usual, throwing us a curveball. But it was phenomenal racing to get us started. The 206 Masters have been clean. They've been close. Is that going to continue? Are we going to see anyone able to bring the fight to Clay Settles and Jamie Bradford? They'll stack up 2 by 2 to the punch-off cone. Settles ready to get us started, and we go racing once again in 206 Masters. Great start for that inside row. Once again, Settles arrowheading them into I-70 for the first time. I think Estes going on the inside there in the 435 was maybe just able to make that move. No, Estes is through, and now it's actually Jamie Bradford up into second. Estes is getting swamped further back, but is still able to fend off Levi Wilbur. Buddy Daly, Paul Mickelry. Kart's out on track. A move maybe for the lead there. Yeah, around the outside. 469, Clay Settles able to, for the time being, Bradford at bay. But again, we talked about one of the main takeaways from the first round of heats. If you want to bring the fight to the leader, you got to do it immediately. That is exactly what we're seeing from Bradford here.
But this is also just like what we saw in the first heat. It was the Settles and Bradford show, and it's continuing now. They're just nose to tail, and they've left the rest of the field.
Settles and Bradford up and away here as we work our way into Sector 2. Add a scoreboard through the shark fin and into Cell Tower. Again, very similar configuration to what we'll see next weekend for Stars King of the Castle. And Settles continuing to fend them all off as Brant Estes and Levi Wilbur. Again, another duel that was a major highlight of the opening heat for the Masters. Those guys, again, though, much like what we saw with Settles and Bradford out in front, just kind of ran bumper to bumper and not able to make a move quite yet. We're seeing some defensive driving, though, from Clay Settles going middle of the track there, trying to break the draft just a little bit there through the kink into I-70. First time we've actually seen some more movement off the racing line there, Brett, trying to break the draft.
Yeah, I was about to say he was taking that defensive line. And just like the first heat that they had earlier this morning, it looks like Bradford is able to tighten up that lead in this infield section coming into and off of the corner, at least earlier. But you can see it's kind of a seesaw effect. He keeps extending it, tightening it, extending it again. But I said before, he's keeping him honest, so it's not a Clay Settles show. He still has 2, now 3 drivers behind him that could very well easily take this lead.
So the track drying to an extent, but the racing line still very much in effect. You see a really good example in certain parts of the racetrack. I think 12 and 13, a great example here. You can see just how wide these guys arc it as Wilbur tries making a move on Bradford. As again, these corners, so many of them have a grading where the water kind of puddles up at what would normally be the apex of the dry line. You're going to see it right here through 17 and 18 as well. That's how we saw some carnage coming out of the final corner in senior earlier on for heat number 1. But again, it's so hard. That's additionally why it's so hard to make a move. You can see the puddling there in turn 16. You can't make a lunge to the inside because the minute you try and look at traditionally where you would make a move, you just have genuinely zero grip. You gotta go yachting to try and make that move stick. That doesn't mean it's necessarily impossible, but you need good speed. You need excellent kart control. Not easy, but not impossible to make a move to the inside.
Yeah, and one disadvantage or advantage, if you like the weather or the conditions, the wet conditions, is we only have 8 karts on track, so it's not going to dry out if compared to the other classes that have 30, 40 karts. There's only 8, so I think the conditions you have at the start are probably going to be the conditions you're going to get throughout the race. But you can see Bradford once again tightening up the gap between him and Clay Settles, but we haven't seen him duck out yet to make a pass. We'll see if he's able to do that here. Nope, looks like he's fine staying in line for right now. Still plenty of time, still 1:30 left on the clock, plus 2 laps. So we'll see if he's wants to make that pass. What we saw in the first heat, he made a pass, and then Clay Settles made a pass right back on him and then was able to extend the lead. So there he goes there. Looks like he's trying to make a move. We'll see if it's able to stick as they go down that straightaway. No. Clay Settles able to drive it in a little bit harder.
And again, I think for Jamie Bradford right now, there's a lot less stress underneath the helmet than what might be visual on track right now. He knows that he's got the pace to hang with Clay out in front. And he just knows he might need the track to dry up a little bit and need just a little bit more aggression to hold the lead. I think if anything, the anxiety for Bradford is saying, okay, I've made that move already for the lead on Settles before. Am I able to make that move actually stick? How good is Bradford, as a chase car instead of a follow car? And unfortunately, that's not data that Bradford has. He only has 30 seconds and 2 laps left today to figure that out in what could still be a potentially damp Sunday. So again, not something that's necessarily needed to be P1 tomorrow, but that could be some very useful data. But the bottom line is, Bradford has a very fast kart underneath him. That's currently not a luxury that Wilbur and Estes have a little bit further behind. I could help them, but if things continue the way they are come Sunday morning, it will more than likely be a 2-horse race. Block set to 0. Twin sticks coming out next time by. Bradford still looking for a way through Estes through the double left of 12 and 13. It's continued to not really be an opportunity even in the rain. This tight technical section by the cell tower where drivers have been able to make a move. But for that black and red kart further back, the 428, it has definitely become an opportunity for Bradford to set up, get a good exit, potentially make a move right here through the 90s. Ooh. Very shallow entry, big slide on entry. He threw that thing into turn number 16. That's going to kill a lot of momentum, though, on exit.
A for effort, though. He definitely tried to make a move there, but I think you could see when he turned the wheel, he just had no grip with the amount of speed that he had. It kind of fishtailed a little bit, but as you mentioned, lost a little bit of time. Again, we just got the 2 laps to go, so he has time to catch back up. And see, look how hard he drives into the corner there, able to tighten that lead back up. So he's going to have another shot here for sure.
Down low in his scoreboard, will try to make the move. Stick gets it on the anchors. Side pod to side pod, clean move. And Bradford gets the P1 for the second time. And crucially, no swing back immediately from Clay Settles. So what is the response here from that Coyote? Now in P2, is he going to potentially look for a move back sooner rather than later? He's got, at this point, a lap and a half to make a move back. It's now study time for Clay Settles in P2.
Yeah, you have to wonder, was Settles saving anything? Is he going to turn up the wick now, or was he showing them all he's got? We'll see. He has about a lap and a half, as you mentioned, but he's not letting Bradford get away, so he is going to probably have another chance here. You see a little bit of a gap there, maybe 2 karts as they go down that straightaway there, but they're going to come to the white flag, so still plenty of time. Again, with these conditions, the chances for a mistake by any of these drivers increases exponentially.
You saw just how much Bradford was wiping his visor. This is the first time this Saturday that his face hasn't been pelted from the rooster tail of the kart in front of him. He doesn't have to worry about smelling exhaust. And crucially here, he looks to be building a respectable gap through 1 and 2 into the shark fin. Clean air as it stands, looking good for the 428.
Yeah, just has to get these final couple corners, final dozen or so corners, got to get through them clean. And he should, Jamie Bradford should be able to take home this heat win. Impressive drive, though. He, you know, the lead was extended. He was able to catch back up, and now he's extending the lead on Clay Settles by a long distance there. So Jamie Bradford finding something on the track in these wet conditions this afternoon, or excuse me, still this morning here in Indiana.
Look a little bit further back, the 406 Levi Wilbur just coming into view as well as Clay Settles run out of steam in that Coyote. We'll have to wait and see, but this is something to look out for tomorrow. Conditions could obviously throw a huge wrench in the gears of a lot of these guys' plans. This could very well be a 4-kart race, just as it was in Heat 1, pre-final and final tomorrow. But as it looks right now, we're going to have a rubber match tomorrow for the pre-final, as Jamie Bradford looks to even the series through 17 and 18 out of the final corner. And Jamie Bradford makes it 1 apiece with himself and Clay Settles. Wilbur in 3rd, Grant Estes in 4th. Clean, ethical wheel, exactly what we're looking for, Brett.
Yeah, good, clean racing there. No touching of the fenders there, or any of that. No one actually even went off track during that race that we're aware of. So good, clean racing by all 8 of those Masters drivers. They'll pack things up and look at the weather forecast for tomorrow and see what kind of conditions or what kind of adjustments they need to make.
Crazy old men get to take a breather before tomorrow. and we get an opportunity to take a breather ourselves. Briggs Micro coming up here from Indy. Heat number 2 for Briggs Micro. James Fox carrying that white hot pace from pole position. DJ Akers alongside Remy Boss and Sam Robinson in row number 2. Clyde Clement, Toby Blue, Jackson Sloan, Harrison Fisher, Wyatt Bergman, and Jude Boss rounding out your top 10. Little bit less wet on track. Ooh, spinner further back. That is Remy Boss in the 288. Man, the commentator's curse has been strong today, Brent.
Yeah, I mean, but that just shows how treacherous the conditions are. You know, they're just trying to get caught up and get formed up. And there was a spin there. I'm interested to see if this leader is able to extend his lead once again. I mean, you have to wonder, do they become complacent? Do they just not make any changes to the kart? You know, he won the race by 18 seconds, or do you try to make changes to maybe extend the lead? It's hard. It's great. It's a great problem to have when you're dominating a race, but then you have to wonder what the other guys are doing to try to catch back up to you, what adjustments they're making.
I think James has more than enough time here. Again, full-time KRA regional racer out here. Did the full weekend for Route 66, but again, has a handful of seasons here at Newcastle now under his belt. So, not his house, but the kid in the top cart certainly knows his way around here pretty dang well. GFC on the outside telling everybody to check on up. DJ Akers, Remy Boss, Clyde Clement ready to get this party started. James Fox puts the right foot down and brings us to the green flag in 206 micro. Good start for him again here, and immediately swings it to the high side. Remy Boss very deep there. Thought was maybe going to give an opportunity for Clement in the Paralin to get through for P2. A couple of them stacked back further back. I think Jude Boss, Wyatt Brolsman getting collected. That is Rhett Blue. And one of the GFCs might be Jackson Sloan. 228, Sam Robinson, the fellow GFC. Sister kart to Remy Boss. Again, second time in a row we've had some opening lap carnage in the micros.
Yeah, you hate to see that on the opening lap. As you can see, a battle here with that would be TJ Akers in second, battling, I believe that was Remy Boss in the 288, I believe.
Was, yep.
But just like where we left off, James Fox extending his lead already, and we're not even one lap in.
Gary Carlton's GFC brand in full force this weekend in Cadet. And funnily enough, not necessarily a format of racing that gets a lot of factory support from Gary's tents, but the chassis itself has gotten so much love, especially on the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. It has been proven with this Briggs engine in the Pacific Northwest with Burley Super Cup. The guys in the Midwest have finally realized that, and why we're seeing so many people start to move over to the platform. TJ Akers more than comfy behind the wheel of the 254. Move further back. I believe that's Brolsman in the 221 making a move. It's one of the blues. No, that is a fact. No, it's Toby Blue losing that spot. No, Sam Robinson, excuse me. Further back making that move. Sharkfin, again, great example. We were talking about the wet line earlier on. So much banking there through the Sharkfin. Those guys run all the way up to the lip at the top of the track, nearly up into the grass. Because again, the alternative is you are literally swimming at the bottom of that corner. Not the only corner you do it, but for so many of these very banked corners, it is almost dirt style, Brett, where you're just ripping the top.
Yeah, these drivers very spaced out, but if you watch closely as they go around the corners, as you just mentioned, they are sliding it through those corners. But as I've mentioned all day, you know, yes, they may not be racing each other right now, but it's just good on-track, wet driving experience for these young drivers, because if they stay in their karting career, this is something they'll have to experience probably dozens of times throughout their career, if not hundreds, if they stay in their career long enough. But you can see just how spaced out everyone is. Track conditions still extremely wet. You could see the rooster tails still breezy out there, but they're learning as much as they can with these conditions as James Fox clicks across the line. 2.8 second lead with about 2:30 to go in this session. So he's picking up, like I said, where he left off heat number 1.
Glad you're with us here for the opening round of the Apex Midwest Championship. As look at this move further back, Kart Republic of Wyatt Brolsman making that move on Jude Boss. You got Brett Blue in that mix as well. Toby Blue in the 290 just in the middle of that sandwich. Good battle further back, taking place for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Working their way out of the shark fin now to the scoreboard as the Blues brothers try and work their way forward. In the field, you got a pair of Blues. Good stuff right now in 206 Micro. Still plenty of action this weekend outside of Indy as well. CKNA's Canada Nats heading north of the border, I believe, is probably live right now as well. Like it if you say it on this tab, but obviously action no matter where you look. Then of course tomorrow, May 17th, round number 4. Already round number 4. Oh my goodness, MCC Pro-Am getting a lot of action in early this year. But it is so weird for me to think we're already nearly halfway through the racing season, because it feels like just yesterday we started. But round number 4 of the MCC Pro-Am as well, taking place at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati. As always, grassroots stacked weekend. And then, of course, we're back here next weekend. Round number 2 of the Stars Championship for King of the Castle, obviously right here at NCMP. Plenty of racing going on here as we head into summer. 40 seconds on the clock. Fox, not the same level of dominance, but definitely building that gap again, just like heat number 1. 5.1 in change. As this battle continues, Jude Boss looking to the inside, trying to make that move on Toby Blue in P7 through I-70. He's able to get that exit. Brolsman, you just saw ahead there. Orange and white Kart Republic able to get the breakaway there in P6. Battle on track through the shark fin. As this track evolves, you see them go lower and lower now, halfway down on the shark fin. Boss looking for a way through. Blue going all the way down to the inside. Good battle right now. And here we go. Boss trying to go to the outside. Up and over the hill. Done deal. Clean racing there for P7.
Yeah, best battle that we have on the racetrack right now. But yeah, clean, nice battle there. It looks like that Boss was a little bit faster. As you can see, there's a look at the 218 of Jackson Sloan. He's currently in 5th position. But as I mentioned before, they are pretty spaced out across this racetrack. But that was the best battle we had. James Fox continues his leading ways. He's led all the laps so far. I think he also led all the laps in the first heat as well. So definitely, as you mentioned, Jackson, this is not his, house, but it's definitely his, I guess you would call it his playground with how much he's dominated here so far early this morning.
Newcastle Kid Kart champion in 24. Micro Swift champ in 25. 206 Cadet champion from WRP in 25. And a Micro Swift champion in 25. There has not been a weekend, seemingly, that this kid has not been in a cadet kart. And he has been mighty, mighty fast. A bit further back, Red Blue, 293. This is the Paralena Clyde Clement. Further back in P4. Start of the day on the podium. Remy Boss, not having the same dramatics as heat number 1, has been able to build about a 4-second gap. There he is, a little bit further back, further up ahead now. Again, a lot of different reasons why James was able to build such a gap in race number 1. We saw a little bit of fireworks further back for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in heat number 1. Not really the case this time.
Yeah, everyone minding their manners, learning as much as they can. Again, I don't know how much of this will be, whatever they're learning today, we don't know how much will be able to be transferred over to tomorrow given the forecast. There is a slight chance of rain tomorrow, but it's still going to be gusty winds tomorrow. So if anything stays the same tomorrow when it comes to the weather, it's definitely going to be the winds. It's supposed to be warmer too. It's supposed to be in the mid 80s tomorrow. So we'll see if Mother Nature decides to give us a dry day or a wet day or both. Maybe a light shower moving through, but today I think the conditions you see now is pretty much we're going to see all day. I don't think the sun will be out for any of the sessions. So these are the conditions the drivers will have all day.
Yep, looking at the weather tomorrow, I think mid 60s to low 80s tomorrow. I know we do have a chance of rain, but I think the good news is it should hopefully hit us before we go out on track. But that means that these guys, just like this morning, have their work cut out for them to go and get out on track, clear out that standing water, and dry it out. Still a couple puddles, but you can see just how much the dry line is starting to finally form right now. But James Fox, we jump over to once again behind the wheel. One of the lone top carts out here has looked so strong. They have been trying to build once again in the Midwest, trying to find a group of strong drivers to build this up, find a new generation. The kid with the Fernando Alonso helmet has been just the kid for the job. Back into the 90s. It was 5 seconds just a couple laps ago. It's back up to 12 seconds. James Fox is a dynamo. He'll take it in heat number 2.
What a dominating performance once again. I'm interested to see, as I mentioned, if we have dry conditions tomorrow, if he's able to still have that dominating performance. So it'll be interesting to see this class hit the track tomorrow, see if a TJ Akers or Remy Boss able to make some adjustments tonight, maybe learn some things today, see what they can bring back to the track tomorrow.
Here come the seniors, the big kahuna. 39 carts coming out when we return here from Newcastle. Back to it. Heat number 2 for Briggs 206 Senior. Sam Tutwiler on pole position. Addison Iannello alongside him on row number 1. Chris McKeithen, Henry Wheeler on row 2. Mason Surgener and Adam Kay on row 3. Jack Sutton, Holden Hardner on row number 4. Alex Zakuska, Levi Getz round out your top 10. Iannello looked so strong. You could say the same for McKeithen. The pair of Coyotes, though, not able to get to the front and pass that stealth of King Tut out in front. Pair, as well as Henry Wheeler, Mason Surgeon, are trying to work their way to P1.
I like that nickname, King Tut. That's really how that's how you can describe how Sam was able to get that win in that first heat.
Ryan Rea getting rolled off in P11 will be alongside Nagisa Yoshikawa, Emily DeMaster, Nolan Holiday on row 7. Row 8, Sawyer St. Clair, Clay O'Brien with Nick Kiefer, Will Wilkie in row 9, Aiden Lorenko and Jack Sukina rounding out your top 20. Again, very carnage-filled middle pack. That was frankly what we were expecting here when you got 40 carts out on track. Brady Eichhoff riding Curl, Connor Pulse, Keelan Weiss, Michael Taylor, Ryan Sakina, Clayton Mole, Beckham Lewis, Landon Ashcraft, and Brant Hutchins, P20 to P30. Couple more, we'll see if we can run through them briefly here. Colton Kelly, Jerry Fandry, Carter Kilgo, Scott Kelman, Cam Burris, Mark Steele, Owen Mull, Randall Porter, Barstos Bazinski. Watch Mark Steele, the 934 showrunner for Steele Motorsports. Jumping behind the wheel once again. Feels like he's been getting a lot more opportunities, actually, outside of just doing CKNA. Get opportunities to go behind the wheel. You've got a lot of big names at the back of the field who'll try and move their way forward as well. But you have got a lot of hungry drivers further back trying to dethrone Sam Tutwiler at the front of the field. Could it be Addison Iannello or one of the Coyotes? Could it be anyone else? Let's find out. Let's get back to it in 206 Senior. Once again, good start from that inside row as McKeithen gives him a shove, maybe tried going with him down low. Well, the 981 of K tried to make it 3 apiece there to pretty much entirely shut out that outside lane, but as we work into the shark fin for the first time, still remains Tutwiler out in front. Then it's McKeithen, Wheeler, and K, and 1,
Oh, no.
2, 3 around. Big furball there coming out of shark fin.
I was about to say there was a hornet's nest mess of cars back in the pack, and we've been talking about this all day. One mistake and it can take out several drivers, not even your doing.
Ethan trying to go to the outside there. And we'll have the cart fully ahead as we work our way through. Oh, big slide further back. That's Henry Wheeler off on the outside. And we'll try to rejoin. There might be damage there. That Steel Machine. Cooper Mole going off track and the Burrell further back. And we get to the carnage very quickly here, but crucially, a new leader for the first time in Senior with Chris McKeithen to the point.
It's so hard to rejoin in these conditions and the amount of carts on the track, and I think the 926, when he went off, that was just a reaction to the other cart that was already off. But here's that battle for the lead, still heating up between the top 3 there, nose to tail almost here. So there's the carnage in the back, but then you have the leaders out front in those clean conditions.
Iannello P3 in Heat 1. She's got her work cut out for her. She got infested by a handful of carts further back. Jack Sutton, Adam K, she's sandwiched in between right now. And immediately you see Sam Tutwiler trying to put the pressure on McKeithen very deep, nearly into the grass in I-70, but is able to diamond the corner and hold on to that position for the time being. It feels weird to call Mason Surgener a dark horse, but you almost want to pin that label on him right now. He's looked so strong in Heat 1, consistent in qualifying, with the right heat and being in the right place at the right time. He could absolutely make a run to the front as well. Pair of Burrell's a little bit further back. I believe Ryan Rea, Emily DeMaster there, the pair of the 980s in that heavy furball further back. This is pretty much P6 back to P13 or 14. And as the track dries in, we see a little bit more of the Briggs racing we're used to here, just going bumper to bumper as they try to freight train to the front.
I'm curious if you're Sam Tutwiler, do you want to stay in line behind Christopher McKeithen and try and gap the rest of the field, or do you want to get back in the lead because you've dominated the first heat? So interesting to see, you know, what's going through his mind there as they continue to battle here through the infield section of the course. As you mentioned, more like what we're used to seeing. Nose to tail finally. Gets them a little bit long time to get sorted out when you have 30 plus karts on a wet racetrack starting double file on these starts.
No, I think it's a no-brainer if you're Tutwiler, because you see this absolute doghouse behind you. But again, there is zero camaraderie going on further back here, as it's Klusko, DeMaster, O'Brien, Yoshikawa all going at it here. The battle for around the top 10. If those guys continue to work together, absolutely a threat. And I mean, that's for sure a motive for Tutwiler to just get to the bumper of McKeithen and push, right? Give yourselves a little bit of insurance, try and build that gap to Surgeoner, to Iannello, to Sutton, and then say, you know, 2 minutes from now, if I turn around and I see, you know, 10 karts or so separating us from the guy behind, then I can say, okay, we've got enough room. Let's actually battle for the lead now. I think we've got enough of a gap where we can, you know, battle to the end and not worry about the guys behind us. But with, you know, 8/10 of the gap right now from Tutwiler to Surgeoner, I don't think that's the case just yet. So we're seeing some patience, understandably, from the stealth cart right now of Tutwiler. Further back than 975, Holton Hardner trying to fend off from DeMaster.
Oh.
Who tried to go through the inside, a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, I thought there was a little bit of contact and a brief off there, but they're able to get back on track. And you mentioned it briefly. We're not seeing many rooster tails anymore. The track, like I mentioned before, when you've got 30 plus karts on there, it's going to dry out real quick.
Very nice when we've got 40 karts on track, over 30 in junior, double digits in every single Briggs category. We've got one kart off there. That's one of the Sodis, I believe. No, that was
there was
Zap
definitely
Wheeler.
some
What on earth has
contact
happened
there.
to Henry Wheeler? Crucially here, Brett, Henry Wheeler is dropped like a stone again. It was looking very strong further back. We saw him kind of get shoulder checked in lap 1, but he is well outside of the top 10. P19 right now, alongside his boss, the form of Mark Steele. Carter Kilgo further back.
Yeah, Mark
Very
Steele
much outside
up
of where
18.
we expected him.
Mark Steele taking advantage, you mentioned it in our previous heat, taking advantage of other people's issues. He's up 18, but yeah, Henry Wheeler, not sure what happened, but you have to wonder, again, with these conditions, he must have had it off, clearly. Something happened at the beginning. There are just so many karts out here. You go off briefly, and you can on a position.
Ooh, Zakulusko looking for a move on the inside of DeMaster. Really good defense there from Emily, still able to hold on to P8. That black and white helmet, the white and red card. He's been trying to make a move on Harder here. That stealth at 275 for the past 5 minutes or so. And she is getting swarmed by Sakulcio just behind her. She is not cracked under pressure at all. Crucially, though, these three have not been cooperating at all. It's been hard for these guys to you know, go bumper to bumper, close the gap on anyone. The mentality is we see more contact now to Master to Harder. Fight for what you can. Build a gap when you can. But when you got guys behind you, it is just so hard to go bumper to bumper, use teamwork to close the gap in front of you. What has been an every man for themselves kind of scenario here to get us started.
And we just got 2 laps to go, and Tutwiler is back out in the lead over Christopher McKeithen. So a pass has happened within the last couple of laps there. So I was asking before, if you're Tutwiler, do you just sit behind and wait? But obviously he did not, and now he's back out in the lead. He has a 7/10 of a second lead last time by, and first and second have a gap of at least 2 seconds to third place of Mason Sergner. So we'll see how that all shakes out with 2 laps to go. You can settle in the mid. I mean, like we saw before, it's game on as there's 2 laps to go.
Grab further back here. That is alongside the 920. Quarterback Clay O'Brien, Sawyer St. Clair, and Nagisa Yoshikawa. But out in front, look at that Euro lean from McKeithen right now, pedaling to try and close that gap. He knows he's running out of time. He knows in just a moment it'll be 2 laps to go. 7/10 of a gap, not impossible. Tutwiler knows it's not impossible. You see him shoulder check, but it's gained now 1.2 seconds. That's why you saw the anxiety from McKeithen, from the Coyotes, from everyone at the start to try and get to Tutwiler in clean air. This guy's hard to beat.
Yeah, he's been able to extend that lead. Looks like he's almost on a Sunday drive now, just easing his way through those corners. Again, track is drying out, so maybe these are the conditions he was hoping for. I think these are the conditions very similar to what they had in their first heat, but he's got about a half a lap to put everything together and take home another heat win here in Newcastle.
A lot of big movers here. Three-wheeler has recovered a handful since the start. Jerry Fandry up nearly 20 or so positions as well. Once again, 13 positions gained. Seeing 23 from Mark Steele. Take a bow. The bold moves from the Steel Motorsports showrunner has been nearly unbeaten here. And again, from a guy that does not get a lot of seat time at all, those are the kind of moves that make Burrell want to say, yeah, let's give this guy a chassis. But 23 positions gained for Steele.
I think they're gap, but I want to have more laps. He probably could have got top 10.
Be something to look out for. Checkered flag out. Sam Tutwiler gonna sweep on Saturday. McKeithen has to patch it up again for P2. Best finish of the day so far for Mason Surgeoner, 3rd with Iannello in 4th. Jack Sutton in 5th. Look at this drag race further back. Emily DeMasters, Zach Seculcio, Olin Hardner, Levi Getz, Sawyer St. Clair, Hardner, and Getz getting their first top 10s of the day as well. 2 more 206 categories to go before we wrap up our AM sessions and move over to the cycles. We'll pay the bills here when we come back. Mini and Junior.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental cart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go, come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico, it's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Hey guys, another Kart Chaser Driver Fitness episode with me, Chris G. Today, I'm going to show you how to protect those ribs in the seat. We're doing core. Exercise number 1 is the bench leg raise. Controlled all the way down, full range of motion, Make sure you pick up that tailbone off the pad, coming down, controlling. Great for the lower abdomen area and obliques. Floor slider mountain climbers, exercise number 2. Exercise number 3, the plate-loaded decline bench sit-up. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Chris G Coaching, race-ready training that carries into real.
Ready to get back to it here with heat number 2 for Briggs 206 Mini. M. Leish puts MPG Motorsports and Kart Republic on pole position. Aiden Lawson, Chase Cull, and Bo Laser will follow. Caden Taruno, McAllen Schallback, Ruben Greer, Logan Pollock, Ryan Hull, and Joseph Panico round out your top 10. It was a breakaway for Tutwiler. It has been very much the same with Evan Leish building a gap here in Heat 1.
Yeah, the track is dried out. I'm expecting maybe some pack race, not pack racing, but I think we'll see them all be nose to tail. I could be wrong, but I think that these are some of these style cars give some of the best racing, I think, at this style racetrack, so we'll see how it all plays out.
Lawson Speed Shop versus MPG on the front row. Indy versus Ohio on the front row. And we'll see the green flag for 206 Mini. It's been so strong on the inside row on these starts. You're seeing that once again as, oh, look at this. Cole looked so strong in qualifying. He spun on lap number 1. And he might lead. That might be issues for Leish. The 110 got collected. Oh my goodness. Evan Leish, Hayden Lawson got collected. Your two biggest names in Mini collide.
Oh no.
Turn 1, lap 1. Unbelievable.
That opens up this
lead
race for any of these drivers now.
It is a whole new ball game in 206 Mini. Apex Race Control gonna have a look. I'm not sure if we can get replays to see and you know, take a look at what happened. But Chase Cull up and away with Bo Layden, McAllen Schlauback giving chase. Look at this furball further back as we work into cell tower for the first time.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened on that start, but they were like, it looked like they were 3 wide coming off that first corner. It was just a hornet's nest of karts there, but we've got it organized out now. Drivers are back into single file formation for the most part. You can see there's our leaders, a little bit of maybe a 4-car kart length lead there. Or I'm sorry, that's not the lead, that's second and third.
First lap about to be in the books. And Chase Cull, far less dramatic for him than heat number 1. No recovery drive needed. He's your leader. Second, nearly 2 seconds up from Bo Laser. A little bit further back now.
So
142 at Taruno tried making that move on Laser. Couldn't make it just yet, but that Sodi is all over the back of that 181.
I was going to say, scratch what I said on the start about pack racing and long line racing, because Chase Cull has checked out to an almost 2-second lead as these other drivers battle for 2nd through 8th. Oh, and another driver is off. That's the 120 of Ruben Greer.
Ruben Greer! Another very strong driver, top 10 pace in heat number 1. And that's another new gen down in heat number 2. Check back in, Taruno versus Laser. As we work our way out of, up and over the hill into cell tower. This Sodi looking really, really strong in the Titan technical stuff. Crucially here, Taruno not able to make a move past Bo just yet. He's got a couple of fast guys further back starting to stack up behind him. Ryan Hall, Colin Schallback, Logan Pollock, Lincoln Wally making this about a 5 or 6 kart freight train. Bit of a nudge there from Taruno to Laser as we work into the 90s. You've got a lot of kids who who want to reach Chase Call out in front. They got to get by that 181 to do it first, and the only kid who can do it right now is that Sodi in P3.
Yeah, if you're Bo Laser, I think you want to try and have these guys stay in line and maybe catch Chase Call. But you can see here's the battle back there. They're not staying in line at all back here.
All trying to go through. Has no help with the draft, but has the inside line. The grip is there. Tried to get a 2-for-1. And now Laser able to cross him up. Is there enough momentum on the exit heading over the hill into the left-hander? And look at this. What a run from Ryan Hall. 2-for-1 deal. And will lead the rest of them. Can he potentially close that gap to Call?
Call has a huge gap now. I think we're going to get an interval next time they go across the line, but all that shaking and dicing there, I believe Chase Call's loving that, because I think he'll have at least, it looks like from the eye test, almost a 5-second lead. We'll see officially when they come across the line.
Yeah, for sure, next move. Now we got Taruno trying back and finally get that move on Bo for what is now P3. Still not able to clear him. Now takes a peek to the inside, but crucially now you got Pollock, Schlaubeck, and Wiley still there. Nobody wanting to work together. Everybody wants to get to the front of this train. 1 minute on the clock. What's the gap looking like? Only a second gain, so not as bad as we thought, but that was certainly an expensive move from Hall there to get that 2-for-1 deal. Now it's a 4-cart freight train. You can see how much the track dries up. These carts are getting closer and closer to one another, Brett. They're getting more and more comfortable running bumper to bumper.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can see the asphalt, the coloring has changed. There's no more rooster tails. It's almost like a regular, completely dry racetrack, and the speeds have increased, and they're racing like it is a dry racetrack. So the battle is for second through about, I think that's second through, let's say, second through 8th. And then we have Chase Call out front. So this is second through 8th on your screen right now.
We've seen it in pretty much all the cadet classes to this point. One kid running away with it and the rest fighting to be the best of the rest. Last round out, it was Bo Laser and Heat 1 taking that honor, but now Ryan Hall up a handful of spots, making some really big moves. That comp cart to even be in, contention for that for the first point. And let's not forget 7 positions gained for the 109. Really big moves there.
Yeah.
Just
Lincoln
really
Wiley is
impressive driving there for the kid behind the wheel of the 109.
Yeah, Lincoln Wiley also up 10 positions. He's just outside the top 5 and 6 position. So you mentioned it all morning, taking advantage of other drivers' issues. We saw I think first and second have those issues in the first corner on the first lap. As we see more battles here for position, that is the 181 of Bo Laser trying to get back into second place, but he holds in third for now.
Bo having the good line on exit just does not have enough momentum behind the wheel of the 181 to get that move to really stick. Out of time here, Twin Sticks coming out next time by. We should also mention our 2 top drivers from Heat 1 who got tangled. We're able to keep going again. I do see Hayden Lawson back up and running in P17. Maybe some damage to that Lawson speed shot machine. We'll have to double check. But crucially, Evan Leash definitely back on the charge again, up to P11 after that first lap tangle. But definitely some karts maybe needing to go on the table a little bit sooner in the weekend than a lot of these guys were hoping for. Battle for P3 raging on. Bo Laser in the 181. Crucially getting a breakaway here from Caden Taruno in the Sodi. And battle for P2 rages on.
Yeah, Chase Call looks like he, unless something catastrophic happens, he should be able to come home with the win in this second heat, as I believe, yep, we're going to get the white flag this time around. Everyone knows to tail, though. Oh, you see the battle here.
Oh, Laser looking to the high side. Bruno trying to pick up the scraps further back, sends it to the inside of I-70. Now it's Laser with a good exit. That'll go back to the advantage of the 109 of Hull through the shark. Laser trying to cross up on the exit, but again, the inside immediately becomes the outside. Really good kart placement from Ryan Hull, just thinking a couple of corners ahead. A necessity in 206 racing, in knowing when the outside's going to become the inside. Switchbacks being set up in some cases, you know, 3 or 4 corners up ahead. That requires good setups from attackers and knowing where to put your kart. As a defender, it is really good stuff right now. Really mature driving from everybody in the field right now. As Laser continues to try and chip away and find something for Hull and P2. Had the nose ahead, by the way, at the line, but again, Hull just having a better run there, yeah.
I was about to say real quick, you can see a clear dry line now, so that's something to keep in mind for the next and final heat that we have this morning. But track has dried out nicely, but Chase Call looks like he's going to be coming around and taking home this win.
Out of turn number 16. And it'll be one for the 107, one for the 115. Chase Call taking victory in heat number 2. Ryan Hull able to fend off Caden Taruno. Lincoln Wiley was all over the bumper of that Sodi, but that 144 has to settle for P4. Anderson Hempel in P5. Logan Pollock 6. Bo Laser, McAllen Solbach, Elam Stoner, Robbie Noe, excuse me, and Evan Leish, your 10. One more before we break for lunch. 206 Junior coming up here from Indy.
Macron Motorsports builds champions every day, drivers who won on the world stage. The Tillotson T4 Series is pure spec racing. Same engine, same chassis. When you win, it's because you were the best that day. Your edge is not the kart. It's the setup, the strategy, and the race team. With our Arrive and Drive program, you simply bring your gear, we provide the equipment and the championship-winning support to every event. Stop wrenching, start racing. Your path to the T4 Nations Cup in Spain starts with us. For more information, contact us at macronmotorsports.net.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make weight. Okay, you're good.
I'm sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle. How the f did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspects with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Last heat of the day before we break for lunch and jump over to KA100 action. And it's heat number 2 for Briggs. Ryder Thompson on pole alongside Rylan Gordon. Joseph Vayette running a little bit further forward. William Richard will be alongside him in row number 2. Danny Dragunov and Callan Myers in row number 3. Tegan Schneider, Evan Frey on row 4. Jacob Chable and Laney Thigpen rounding out your top 10. Ryder Thompson, again, just even with these big grids, Brett, it just feels like the guys who have been out in front and who have been fast have just been able to build those gaps.
Yeah, but I think we're going to see now is these guys are seeing totally different track conditions than what they had in their first heat. We have a clear dry line. It was rooster tails for the other one. So maybe some guys that are better in dry conditions are able to take advantage here with some of these leaders that were able to get those podiums in the first heat. We're about to see what happens as they get them lined up here for junior heat number 2.
Fortunately, that big ball of gas that we orbit around has not been doing a great job of removing water from the track, so we've unfortunately had to remove the water ourselves for the most part. But we are ready to go as your 33 206 drivers take to the track for the final 206 heat of the day. Break for about an hour or so. We'll have warm-ups set. I'll get the time specifically for you guys here. 1:20 local time. We'll take to the track for warm-up for KA Masters. Qualifying will jump on about 2:20 with heat racing starting at 3:20. Should be done with the day at about 5:45. Hope you stick with us into the afternoon here as the 2-cycle guys come out for their turn of the action here at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Ready to write the last chapter of this morning, though, as it's Rylan Gordon, Ryder Thompson on the front row. Can anyone stop Ryder Thompson? Let's find out. Let's go racing for heat number 2 for 206. Good push from Vayette to the inside. Actually takes him up high into turn number 1. One of the new gens able to make moves. 2 carts tangle further back. That is one of the steals. That might be Yutzi.
Yeah, just like our previous heat, turn 1 an issue for some of these drivers, but it looks like our leaders able to get away, unlike our first heat or our previous heat, our leaders able to get away unscathed.
Single file now further back. Gordon dropping a handful of spots down to P4. After that, Vayette and Richard plugging that hole. Dragunov, I think, losing a little bit as well. But here we go. Immediately, we see that teamwork. Everybody pointing forward. We got to get to Ryder Thompson. If we have any shot, if we have any pace, we got to show it right now. But one of the Coyotes has other plans. I think that's the 251 of Dragunov. Or no, excuse me, Evan Frey on that Coyote making a move further back. One cart, I think, off again further back. I saw Marshall running to help someone out through cell tower. For the most part, we have stayed clean and green. That's another one down, though. The 806, not Gavin Dyer. Try and get a plate for you. Wyatt Cataldo getting collected, was running P22 at the start. I think might be nursing issues with his power plant. But first lap in the books. And crucially, the fight is on. Tegan Schneider, Daniel Dragunov right there, trying to bring the fight to Ryder Thompson.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, the track's dried out, so it's more conducive to this style of racing where you can get nose to tail and catch up that leader. So you can see 4 carts under a blanket. Thompson, Schneider, Dragunov, and Richard looks like they all nose to tail as they go through that what do you call that corner? The banked corner of the 77 or 70?
The
70,
shark fin.
Right? The shark fin, I'm sorry. Shark fin.
It's I-70 into shark fin. That is a big push off there, as Thompson will go through. Schneider to the lead now, I believe, with Dragunov going with him. But crucially, you've got Daniel Dragunov, 851, trying to get New Gen to the front, but it's a steal now. In the form of, I believe, Tegan Schneider, 809. Further back, you got Steel, New Gen, Coyote, your top three. Great mix of the carts, great mix of the engine builders. Truly now feeling race. You've got maybe 9 or 10 carts right now in this freight train going for the top 10.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a race here for this final heat of the AM session. 7 carts, I should say, under a blanket there. Looks like maybe they're going to duck out for the lead. Look out for this last corner. This is where some of the passes have been happening today. But nope, they're going to go back in line. But look for defensive line possibly down this straightaway.
3-cart breakaway for the time being. And the minute one of these guys makes a move, it'll bring Thompson, Yvette, Scheibel, and Thigpen into the mix. Big send further back, as I think that was Evan Frey trying to split the difference there. It was. He made a move on Scheibel, and now Yvette and Thompson trying to break away and get into the mix. A little bit wide there is Dragunov. 1 cart off further back, the 896. Try and get a number plate for you as soon as possible, or a name as soon as possible, but crucially, new move or new lead.
Oh, you see them getting that car off. You see them getting that car off the track before this lead group came into position here. As you can see, some bumping off the corner there. You can see this battle for the lead still continuing. They are nose to tail. I think that's about 10 carts now are now under a blanket here, as time is winding down, 1:30 on the clock, so they'll probably get 1 more lap than the +2, so we'll say 3 laps to go here at Newcastle Motorsports Park, as they're going to come around again, so they're going to cross the line. So I think it, like I said, should be 3 laps to go. William Richard in the 887 continues to lead. Ryder Thompson second, Daniel Dragunov in third in the 851. Again, amazing to see how quick this track has dried out.
Yeah, really good effort from everybody here. And again, it's just feeling more, it looks more like a dry race in terms of the surface and just how these guys are interacting on track. You're seeing more lines actually open up. We're seeing guys start to fully experiment and, you know, make moves really work. And crucially, we are just actually bumper to bumper here. Dragunov trying to make a move, coming out of scoreboard on Thompson. Not enough momentum on exit there to make that move work. Again, just a little bit of overlap. You can already see how costly that is, as now Richard and that Coyote out in front gets a little bit more breathing room. Now Dragunov dropping off. Something is wrong with the new gen of Dragunov, because he's getting swallowed by this pack further back.
Yeah, what a battle we have up front here. This might be the biggest train of cars that we've seen battling for the lead all morning long. A little bit of a gap there now, but this race is far from over. Oh, someone goes off there.
It is Dragunov.
Oh, and a cart smoking.
Oh, smoke. Oh my goodness. Smoke from the 815. Try and get a name for you. Wow. That is a rare sight in 206 karting, but Jet Price, excuse me, quite literally has his cart go up in flames as smoke comes from the back of his machine. But with the clock hitting 0, it is a 2-cart battle. And William Richard trying to go 2 for 2. Ryder Thompson, your quickest man on track, trying to make that change. But again, right now, just bumper to bumper. And we are finally dry enough on track where we can actually build a gap. We can interlock bumpers. We can build a gap. We can build insurance. And we can battle. But right now, with only 2 laps to go, the Twin Sticks coming out this time by, and 1.8 the gap between the two of them. Brett fights on for P1. Look to the inside from Thompson. Gonna go side by side through the kink into the 90s. Things are out. Thompson back to the point.
Yeah, you wonder how much they're gonna, these two, William Richard and Ryder Thompson, how much they're gonna dice it up and allow this second group of about 3rd through 7th to catch up. You can see there's that group right there in the frame, but it looks like Ryder Thompson's trying to extend his lead slightly here, but this infield section is so technical, it's gonna be very easy for William to Richard. There he is, right back on his back bumper through this technical section.
Richard used to being in this position before. 206 veteran. Even at this young age, he's used to making last lap moves. He's no stranger to having his back against the wall in this position. But he knows I-70 might be the time to make that move, because clean air has been the main advantage, shockingly, for William Richard. But again, as the track dries, the draft continues to grow in effect, and you can see it right now. William Richard and that 887 Coyote all over the rear of that 864. Out of the shark fin, over the hill into scoreboard for the final time. Further back, Schneider, Scheibel, and Vayette still going at it. These two need to be careful if they keep going, you know, too wide, especially here into the cell tower section. That could immediately bring these three back into the mix, but Richard is driving smart. He knows he only has a handful of opportunities. He's got to do it sooner rather than later, and he's got to do it very quick. Battle further back. Vayette to the inside of Scheibel. That's a done deal for P4. That'll allow...
Yeah, you have to wonder if William Richard is going to try and set... If you're wondering... You have to wonder if William Richard, is going to try and set up a pass on this final corner, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. We'll see as they go through these last final corners. There he is right there. I don't know if he's going to be close enough.
Think it's going to be too little, too late. What a move from Ryder Thompson, able to swing back on William Richard, get back to the point. He's your Heat 2 winner. William Richard home in second. Tegan Schneider dropping a handful of positions at the end there, and Jacob Scheibel comes home in third. We've got a rally to end further back. 8:14, I believe. AJ Stoner going for a little bit of an excursion there at the end. Rylan Gordon, Tegan Schneider, Laney Thigpen, Ezekiel Higot, Ryder Nesbitt, and Evan Frey rounding out your top 10. Tip of the cap, though, for Ryder Nesbitt. 24 positions gained there in Heat 2.
What a drive.
A lot of guys making very big moves there in the mid-pack. And reaching that point where for the 206 guys, it's back to the tent, make some changes for the cart. Get ready for tomorrow for the KA100 crew. Time to take the cart covers off, get the suit on, and get ready to qualify. That's coming your way in just an hour time. It's time for this hard-working NCMP crew, Apex crew, and of course our hard-working KC production staff to chow down and get ready for an afternoon of two-stroke action. Hoping you join us here in about an hour and change. For everybody here at Kart Chaser, alongside Brett Baldick, I'm Jackson Lambros, hoping you come back. We'll see you here in about an hour for more Apex Racing from Newcastle.
This broadcast is the sole property of Kart Chaser Group, LLC. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the images, audio, or accounts of this event, in whole or in part, without the express written consent of Kart Chaser Group, LLC is strictly prohibited. Thanks for watching.